Hello again, everyone. This is Michael Cheek with MikesGuitarLessons.com. Now we're going to be learning the chorus to Kryptonite by Three Doors Down. This is actually not real hard. It's just going to be some power chords. I'm going to give you 3-note power chords here so they can sound a little fuller, but other than that, it's pretty simple. So, and you can still use 2-note power chords, but I'm going to show you 3. Okay? Now, if you have any trouble, just matter of fact, just use the 2-note power chords that you're used to seeing me use in other songs. Now, what it's going to sound like is something like this. Okay, now what we're basically doing there is some power chords, a little palm muting, and so I'm going to shift so you can see my right hand as well. And let's go ahead and start. Okay, now we're going to start off with just go chord by chord here. I'm not real worried about the chord names, but let's go ahead and I'll call out what the names are just so you know. Okay, so we've got a power chord here. We're going to start with our first finger and the 2nd fret of the A string, playing this note. Okay, we're going to start with our 3rd finger in the 4th fret of the D string, and that's what you can stop at on all these chords if you're having trouble with the 3rd note. But if you're not, let's add this pinky to the 4th fret of the G string. Okay, that's just the same note as this lower one. It's an octave, but adds a little bit to the chord so it's a little fuller. And that's what we're going to start with, okay? Now, we've got a certain rhythm on this chord that we're going to have to play. It's not just a straight kind of loose rhythm or anything like that. We're going to have some palm muting, and not palm muting, kind of going back and forth. It's going to be like this. And then we switch to the next one. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. But that first chord, what you're going to do basically, you're going to strum that chord. Remember, you're only strumming the 3 strings you're holding down. So the A string, the D string, and the G string. You strum them all at once. Okay? Remember to try and mute the best you can. Basically what you want to do is your first finger can touch this E string. So it's muted. And if you wanted to, you could bring your thumb around to kind of mute, but I usually don't on these kind of chords. And then your first finger can also kind of lay flat as well as your other ones to mute these strings down here. You only want, when you strum through there, you only want those 3 strings to ring. Oh, drop my pick. Okay. Now, anyways, let's get started on that rhythm again. You're going to strum it normally once, and then you're going to palm mute. Now, what palm muting is, if you don't know, is you're going to take this part of the palm of your hand and put it on the strings that you're playing. What you want to do is be careful of how far up or how far back you're palm muting. So what you want to do is start off holding your chord down and then start strumming it. Now, right now, I'm not palm muting at all. But as I slide forward, I get the right amount of palm muting. If I keep going too far, it mutes too much. Okay, and you don't have to do that once you get used to it, but at the beginning it helps. Remember, just go up and back until you get that right sound. Okay, the notes should stop a lot sooner, but they shouldn't be completely muted like that. Okay, so that's your palm muting. That's how you do your palm muting. So your rhythm's going to be like this. You're going to strum it once, just normal, without palm muting, and then you're going to palm mute twice. Okay? And you're going to do that pattern 4 times. So you're going to go. Okay? So let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you go to your next chord. And by the way, this is a B power chord. I didn't clarify that earlier. So that's our first chord is a B5 or a B power chord. Okay, now after you play that, you're going to go to your next power chord, which is 3rd fret on the thick E string, and 5th fret on the A string, and 5th fret on the D string, with those same fingers you used before, just in different frets. Okay? Now this rhythm is a lot looser. You don't have to palm mute on this. You're just going to kind of keep that chord going, and the way I like to play it is just kind of 1 and 2 and 3. You don't even have to go up and down. You can just kind of go, and then move 2 frets up to 5th fret on the E string, 7th fret on the A and the D string, and do the same rhythm. Okay, so all together, that's going to sound like this. Okay? Now, that's the first time you go through the chord progression. The second time, you play this first chord the same way you would. But this time, instead of going here, you're going to go to open on the E string and 2nd on the A string with your first finger. And if you want to keep those 3-note chords going, also let your first finger hold down the D string too in the 2nd fret. Okay, so open, 2nd, and 2nd. Okay, now you're going to this chord that took the place of this 3-5 chord here, which was a G chord and that was an A. I keep forgetting to call these out. So B5, G5, A5. But now we're going to an E5, and that chord is going to get the same rhythm as the others did. Okay, and then after that chord, you're going to go to 2nd fret on the E string, 4th fret on the A string, and 4th fret on the D string, and it's going to have the same rhythm. Okay, so now if I've confused you at all, let's start at the beginning of this and show the order of all of it thus far, okay? So, starting from the beginning of the chorus, it's going to sound like this. Okay? Now, we've actually gone halfway through the chorus. What you do here is just repeat what I just played. Everything's exactly the same, you just play it again. So, all together, you're going to sound like this. Start it over. Now, once you get to the end of it, you just play your power chord you started off on right here and strum it once and hold it. And remember, that's that B5. That's going to be 2nd fret with your first finger on the A string, 4th fret on the D and the G string. Okay, that's that B5. And just so you know, I forgot just all over the place to name these chords. So that was the B5, G5, A5, E5, and F sharp 5. In case you're curious, you don't have to know those names, but I wanted to run through them real quick for you. Now, once that last chord is strummed, you're kind of holding it. What actually happens there is the intro kind of comes in again. That little part. Now, it's a cleaner guitar that plays that, but it comes in right there, and that's what it sounds like, just with a lot less distortion. And that's basically the pre-chorus that you're going to have to learn. And I think what I have left is just going to be the chorus. Sorry, not the chorus, but the solo of the song. So I'll get to working on that, and you get to learning this video.